Jai Shri Ram. Welcome to this evening's satsang. We are going to commence with puja. For those of you who are following and participating in puja, you may now commence. The others who are not, you may put your hands together and join in prayer. Sprinkle water on yourselves and all the puja items. Om apavitraha pavitro va sarvavastangatopi va yah smaret pundari kaksham sarvahyaphyantraha shuchihi. Sip water in the palm of your right hand 3 times. Om Keshavaya Namaha. Om Narayanaya Namaha. Om Madhavaya Namaha. Now rinse your hands. Om Hrishikeshaya Namaha. Om Govindaya Namaha. Om Madhusudanaya Namaha. Now put on a kus ring on the right hand ring finger. Om Pavitresto Vaishnavyo Saviturvah Prasava Utpunamya Chidrena Pavitrena Suryasya Rashmibihi Tasyate Pavitra Pate Pavitra Putasya Yat Kamah Punetachekeyam. Now you can apply chandan, sandalwood paste, or other chandan that you may have, using the thumb of your right hand. Apply it to your forehead, starting at the top of the nose, moving upwards. Om Chandanam Vandyate Nityam Pavitram Papanashanam Apadam Harate Nityam Lakshmir Vasati Sarvadham. You may now light your house lamp. Om Bhodipa Tvam Brahma Rupa Andakara Nivaraka Imam Maya Kritam Pujam Grihastejo Pravarthaya. Om Deepaya Namaha. Sprinkle water on the Vedi. Om Prithvi Tvaya Dhrita Loka Devi Tvam Vishnu Nadrita Tvancha Dharya Mandevi Pavitrang Kuru Chasanam. We are now going to recite Swasti Vachan, a collection of verses from the Ved, and we are appealing to Bhagwan for various auspicious items and also praising him. If you have flowers, take flower petals in your right hand and meditate on Bhagwan while we recite these mantras. Om Swastina Indro Vridashravaha Swastina Pusha Vishwavedaha Swastinastarkshorarishthanemihi Swastino Vrihaspatir Dadatu. Om Payah Pritivyam Paya Oshadishu Payo Devyantarikshe Payodah Payasvatihi Pradishah Santu Mahyam. Om Vishnoratamasi Vishnoho Snaptresto Vishnoho Syurasi Vishnordhruvasi Vaishnavamasi Vishnavetva. Om Agnir Devata Vato Devata Suryo Devata Chandrama Devata Vasavo Devata Rudra Devata Ditya Devata Marato Devata Vishwe Deva Devata Vrihaspatir Devatindro Devata Varuno Devata. Om Dyaho Shantirantariksha Gung Shanti Prithivi Shantir Apah Shantir Oshadayah Shanti Vanaspatayah Shantir Vishvedevah Shantir Brahma Shanti Sarvagung Shanti Shantireva Shanti Sama Shantiredhi. Om Vishwani Deva Savitar Duritani Parasuva Yad Bhadrantanna Asuva. You may offer these flowers onto the Vedi. Now we are going to do Prarthana to Ganesh Bhagwan. You may take flowers and rice in your hands. Put your hands together once again. Meditate on Bhagwan Ganesh. pray to him that he removes our obstacles and brings us success in all the good and pious things that we set out to do. Om He He Ramba Tvame Yehi Ambika Trayambakatmaja Siddhi Buddhi Patetra Yaksha Lakshalabha Pitu Pitah Nagasya Nagaharatvam Ganaraja Chaturbhuja Bhushitah Swayude Divyai Pashankusha Parashvadhe Avahyami Pujartam Rakshartancha Mama Krataho Ihagatya Grihanatvam Pujang Kratuncha Rakshame. Om Gananantva Ganapati Gung Havamahe Priyanantva Priyapati Gung Havamahe Nidhi Nantva Nidhipati Gung Havamahe Vaso Mama Aham Jani Garvadama Tumajasi Garvadam Om Bhur Bhuvaswaha Ganapatiye Namaha Om Ambe Ambike Ambalike Na Manayati Kasyana Sasasya Shvakaha Subhadrikam Kam Pilavasinim Om Bhur Bhuvaswaha Ambikaye Namaha. You may offer those flowers in front of your murti of Ganesh Bhagwan and Mata Parvati. We are now going to do prarthana in respect of the kalash that you may have established on the first day of this puja. If not, you may still participate by taking flowers and rice in your hands. Om, think of all the holy places of pilgrimage and pray that the divinity of those places reaches our homes. Om Tatvayami Brahmana Vandamana Shaste Yajamano Havirbihi Ahiddamano Varunneha Bodhyurusha Gvam Samana Ayuhu Pramoshihi. Bolye Kalasha Varuna Bhagavan Ki Jai. We are now going to do prarthana to Bhagwan Shiv. You may also take flowers and meditate on a murti of Shivji or the Shivling. Om Namah Shambhavaya Cha Mayo Bhavaya Cha Namah Shankaraya Cha Mayaskaraya Cha Namah Shivaya Cha Shivataraya Cha Shivaya Namaha. Bolye Shiva Shankara Bhagavan Ki Jai. We are going to perform puja now to Bhagwan Sita and Ram in full. Take flowers, meditate on Bhagwan while we recite this Dhyan mantra. Om Shri Ramachandra Raghupungav Rajavarya Rajendra Rama Raghunayak Raghavesham Rajadi Raja Raghunandana Ramachandra Dasyoham Madhya Bhavata Sharanagate Dhyaye Dajanubahum Dhrita Sharadhanusham Bhadra Padmasanastam Pitam Vasovasanam Nava Kamala Dalaspardi Netram Prasannam Vamankarudha Sita Mukha Kamala Millalochanam Niradhavam Nana Lankara Deeptam Datata Murujata Mandalam Ramachandram. Om Ramaya Ramabhadraya Ramachandraya Vedase Raghunataya Nathaya Sitayah Pataye Namaha. Shri Rama Rama Raghunandana Rama Rama Shri Rama Bharatagraja Rama Rama Shri Rama Rama Ranakakarshah Rama Rama Shri Rama Rama Sharanam Bhava Rama Rama Lokabhiramam Ranarangadhiram Rajiv Netram Raghu Vanshanatham Karunya Rupam Karunakaram Tam Shri Ramachandram Sharanam Prapadye. Shri Ramachandram Sharanam Prapadye. Offer the flowers in front of the murti or the picture of Shri Ram and Sita ji. Take flowers again and using your mind invite Bhagwan in person to your home. Om Ayahi Bhagavan Ramah Jagadishwara Dayanide Prasanno Bhava Devesha Namastubhyam Sada Vibhu. Now offer a flower as a asan or a seat. Om Shri Ram Janaki Nata Ayodhyapati Pahimam Asana Divya Sarvesha Dasyaham Tubhyam Ishwaram. Now sprinkle water 3 times to wash the feet of the Lord, to rinse his hands and also for drinking. Om Raghavendra Kripanatha Narakarnavataraka Padyangrihan Devesha Mama Sokyam Vivardhaya. Om Kaushalya Sutta Shri Rama नारायण नमोस्तुते। अर्घ्यं गृहाण देवेश सर्वार्थ सिद्धिदायक। ओम मंदाकिन्यास्तु यद्वारि सर्व पाप हरम शुभम। तदिदं कल्पितं देव संपगा क्षम्यतां त्वया। Panchamrit ka snan. If you have Panchamrit, you may offer some. Om Snanam Panchamrite Deva Grihan Purushottama Anathanatha Sarvagnya Girvana Pranati Priyam. Jal ka snan, bathe with water. If you have Ganga Jal, you can add some. Om Ganga Godavari Reva Payushni Yamuna Tatha Saraswatyadi Tirthani Snanartam Pratigrihitam. Offer 2 pieces of cotton, one as clothing and one representing a yagnopavit or a genow. Om Veda Sukta Samayukta Yagnya Sama Samanvite Sarvavarna Prade Deva Vasasi Pratigrihatam. Om Brahma Vishnu Maheshena Nirmitam Brahma Sutrakam Yagnopavita Danena Priyatam Ayodhya Patihi. Using the ring finger of the right hand, apply chandan to the forehead of the murtis. Om Shri Kandham Chandanan Divyam Gandhaniyam Sumanoharam Vilepanam Surashreshtam Chandanan Pratigrihitam. Offer some rice and til if you have til, otherwise rice is fine. Om Akshatanscha Surashrestha Shubhradhunascha Nirmala Maya Nivedita Bhaktya Grihana Parameshwaram. Now offer flower petals. Om Malikadi Sugandhini Malyatyadini Ve Prabho Mahyarathani Pujartam Pushpani Pratigrihatam. Offer a tulsi leaf or a flower. Om Tulsi Manjari Bhirya Kuryat Hari Harachanam Nasa Garbha Graham Yati Mukti Bhago Na Sanchayam. Agarbatti. Take the agarbatti and wave it around the murti 3 times in a clockwise direction. Om Vanaspati Rasodbhuto Gandhadyo Gandha Uttamaha Agreha Sarva Devanan Dhupo Yam Pratigrihatam. Now you are going to offer a lit diya or a camphor. You're going to do arti with it in a similar fashion 3 times around the murti in a clockwise direction. Om Sajyam Cha Varti Sanyuktam Vahanina Yojitam Maya Deepam Grihan Devesham Trilokya Timirapaham. Hasta Prakshalinam. Wash your hands and offer some prasad or fruit that you may have prepared in advance. Om Grita Pakvam Havishyanam Payasam Cha Sasharkaram Nana Vidang Cha Nevedhyam Grihana Parameshwaram. Sprinkle some water. Om Sarva Papa Haram Divyam Gangeyam Nirmalam Jalam Achmanan Maya Dattang Grihatam Parameshwaram. Om Idam Phalam Maya Deva Stapitam Purutastava Ten Me Saplavaptir Bhave Janmani Janmani. Pan, supari, camphor, clove, a coin. If you have elaichi, you may also add that. Pan, supari, a pinch of camphor, clove, elaichi, coin. Om lavanga karpur yutam tam hulam sura pujitam pritya grihan devesha mama sokyam vivarthayam. Please perform arti again in a similar fashion. Om Chaturvarti Samayuktam Gritena Cha Supuritam Nirajanena Santusto Bhavatvevam Jagatpatihi. Om Yani Tani Cha Papani Janmantra Kritani Cha Tani Tani Vinashanti Pradakshina Pade Pade. बोलिए श्री सीताराम चंद्र भगवान की जय, श्री लक्ष्मी नारायण भगवान की जय, श्री राधे कृष्ण भगवान की जय. Put your hands together with some flowers and let's do namaskar to Bhagwan. Om Neelambhodarah Kanti Kanta Manisham Veerasanadhyasinam Mudra Jnanamahi Dadanah Mahaparam Hastambujam Janunihi Sita Parshvagataham Satorurah Karam Vidyu Nibhamah Raghavam Pashyanti Mukutanga Dadhi Vidah Kalpojvalangah Bhaje मंत्रहीनं क्रियाहीनं भक्तिहीनं जनार्दन यत्पूजितं मया देव परिपूर्ण तदस्तु मे। बोलिए श्री सीतारामचंद्र भगवान की जय। We are now going to have Chalisa and bhajans.
नीलाम्बुज श्यामल कोमलंगम सीता समारुपित वामभागम पानौ महासायक चारुचापम नमामि रामं रघुवंशनाथम्। रघुवीर भक्त हितकारी सुन लीजिए प्रभु अर्ज हमारी। निस दिन ध्यान धरे जो कोई तासम भक्त और नहीं होई। ध्यान धरे शिव जी मन माही ब्रह्मा इंद्र पार नहीं पाई। जय 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 रघुनाथ कृपाला सदा करो संतन प्रतिपाला। दूत तुम्हारे वीर हनुमाना जासु प्रभाव तिहु पुर जाना। तब भुजदंड प्रचंड कृपाला रावण मन प्रतिपाला। तुम आनाथ के नाथ गोसाई दीनन के हो सदा सहाई। ब्रह्मादिक तव पार न पावे सदा ईश तुम्हरो यश गावे। चारों वेद भरत है साखी तुम भक्तन की लज्जा राखी। गुण गावत शारद मन माही सुरपति को पार न पाही। नाम तुम्हार लेते जो कोई तासम धन्य और नहीं होई। राम नाम है अपरंपारा चारों वेद निज ही पुकारा। गणपति नाम तुम्हारो लीनो तिनको प्रथम पूज्य तुम कीन्हो। शेष रतत नित नाम तुम्हारा मही को भार शीश पर धारा। फूल समान रहत सोहारा पवना करो तुम्हारो पारा। भरत नाम तुम्हरो उरधारो तासो कबहु नरन में हारो। करत पाप को चारा। सीता नाम पुनीता गायो, भुवनेश्वरी भई प्रभव दिखायो। घट सो प्रकट भय सो आई, जाको देखत चंद्र लजाई। सो सीता पत तुम ही बनाई, इच्छा ते को तिन संसारा। रचत न लागत फल की वारा, जो तुम्हारे चरणन चित लावे। ताको मुक्ति अवश्य हो जावे। जय 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 प्रभु ज्योत स्वरूपा, निर्गुण ब्रह्म अखंड अनूपा। सत्य सत्य सत्ये व्रत स्वामी, सत्य सनातन सत्य भजन तुमरो जो गावे। सो निश्चय चरणन फल पावे। सत्य शपथ गौरी पत की नहीं, तुमने भक्तिन सब सिद्ध दी नहीं। सुनो राम तुम तात हमारे, तुम ही भरत कुल पूज्य प्रचारे। तुम ही देव कुल देव हमारे, तुम गुरुदेव प्राण के प्यारे। जो कुछ हो सो तुम ही राजा, जय 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 प्रभु राखो लाजा। जय 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 दशरथ के दुलारे। ज्ञान दे दो ज्ञान स्वरूपा, नमो नमो जय जगपति भूपा। धन्य धन्य तुम धन्य प्रतापा, नाम तुम्हार हरत संतापा। सत्य शुद्ध देवन मुख गाया, बजी दुंदुबी शंख बजाया। सत्य सत्य तुम सत्य सनातन, तुम ही हो हमारे तन मन धन। या को पाठ करे जो कोई, ज्ञान प्रकट ताके उड़ होई। अवगामन न मिटे तिहि केरा, सत्य वचन माने शिव मेरा। और आस मन में जो होई, मन वांछित फल पावे सोई। तीनों का सोनर सकल सीधिता पावे, अंत समय रघुबरपुर जाए, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। श्री हरिदास कहे अनु गावे, सोवे कुंत धाम को जावे। 7 दिवस जो नीम कर, पाठ करे चित लाए, हरिदास हरि कृपा से अवश्य भक्त को पाए। राम चालीसा जो पढ़े, राम चरण चित लाए, जो इच्छा मन में करे सकल सिद्धि हो जाए। सजा दो घर को गुलशन सा, सजा दो घर को गुल, अवध में राम आए हैं। सजा दो घर को गुलशन सा, अवध में राम आए हैं। अवध में राम आए हैं, मेरे सरकार आए हैं। लगे कुटिया भी दुल्हन सी, लगे कुटिया भी दुल्हन सी, अवध में राम आए हैं। बिछा दो अपनी पलकों को, बिछा दो अपनी पलकों को, अवध में राम आए हैं। सजा दो घर को गुलशन सा, मेरे सरकार आए। सोनी दुनिया से। मेरे इस सोनी दुनिया से कहूँ हरदम यही सबसे, कहूँ हरदम यही सबसे, मेरे सरकार आए हैं। सजा दो घर को गुलशन सा, मेरे सरकार आए हैं। मेरे सरकार आए हैं, मेरे सरकार आए हैं। मेरे सरकार आए हैं। लगे कुटिया भी दुल्हन सी, लगे कुटिया भी दुल्हन सी, अवध में राम आए हैं। सजा दो घर को गुलशन सा, मेरे सरकार आए हैं। मेरे सरकार आए हैं। मेरे सरकार आए हैं। जय जय राम, जय राम, जय जय राम, जय राम, जय जय राम, जय राम, जय जय राम, जय राम। भय प्रगति कृपाला, दीन दयाला, कौशल्या हितकारी, हर्षित महतारी, मुनि मनहारी, अद्भुत रूप विचारी। जय जय राम, जय राम, जय जय राम, जय राम। लोचन अभिरामा, तन घन श्यामा, निज आयुध भुजचारी, भूषण बनमाला, नैन विशाला, शोभा सिंधु करारी। जय जय राम, जय राम, जय जय राम, जय राम, जय जय राम, जय राम, जय जय राम, जय राम। कही दुई कर जोड़ी, असतुत तोड़ी, कही विधि करू अनंता, माया गुण ज्ञाना, आतित माना, वेद पुराण भनंता। करुणा सुख सागर, सब गुण आगर, जेहि गावे ही श्रुति संता। सो मम हित लागी, जन अनुरागी, भयु प्रगट श्रीकंता। जय जय राम, जय राम, जय जय राम, जय राम, जय जय राम, जय राम, जय जय राम, जय राम। ब्रह्मांड निकाई, निर्मत माई, रोम रोम प्रतिवेद कहे, मम उर सोबासी, यही उपहासी, सुनत धीर पति तीर्न रहे। उपजा जब ज्ञाना, प्रभु मुस्काना, चरित बहुत विधि कीन चहे। कही कथा सुहाई, मातु बुझाई, जही प्रकार सुति प्रेम लहे। जय जय राम, जय राम, जय जय राम जय जय राम जय राम जय जय राम जय राम। माता पुन बोली सोमत डोली तजहु तात यह रूपा की जैस सुलीला अति प्रिय शीला यह सुख परम अनुपा। सुनी बचन सुजाना रोदन ताना हुई बालक सुर भूपा। यह चरत जगावे हरिपद पावे तेन पर ही भोपा। जय जय राम जय राम 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 जय जय राम जय जय राम 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 जय जय राम 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 जय राम जय जय राम
Jai Shri Ram. We are going to commence with the Ramayan recitals for this evening. And we're going to commence with the invocation first. I ask you to focus your minds on Bhagwan and join me in prayer. Om. 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 Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Dhyanamoolam Gurur Murtihi, Puja Moolam Guru Padam, Mantra Moolam Gururavakyam, Moksha Moolam Guru Kripa. He Rama Purushottama Narahare, Narayano Keshava, Govindo Garudadvaja Gunanidhe, Damodhara Madhava. He Krishna Kamalapate Yadupate, Sitapate Shripate, Vaikuntadipate Characharapate, Lakshmipate Pahimam. Jehi Sumirat Siddhi Hoy Sitaram Gananayak Karivar Badana, Karo Anugrah Soy Sitaram Buddhirasi Shubha Guna Sadana, Mukha Hohi Vachal Sitaram Pangu Chadahi Girivar Gahana, Jasu Kripa Sudayal Sitaram द्रवः सकल कलिमल दहन नील सरोरुह श्याम सीताराम तरुण अरुण बारिज नयन करो सो मम उर्धाम सीताराम सदा क्षीर सागर शयन कुंद इंदु समदेह सीताराम उमा रमन करुणा अयन जाहि दीन परनेह सीताराम करहु कृपा मर्दन मयन बंदो गुरुपद कंज सीताराम कृपा सिंधु नर रूप हरि महामोहतम पुंज सीताराम जासु वचन रवि कर निकर सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय। कथा आरंभ होत है सुनो वीर हनुमान हे रामा सुनो वीर हनुमान आसन को प्रभु आइए सिया सखा सहित भगवान सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय उमापति महादेव की जय। We are reading Doha number 326 today. I ask you to join in the recitation. Puni puni ramahi chitavasiya sakuchatihi manu sakuche naha harat mano harati na chabhi prem piyase nain siyavar ramchandra ki jai pavan sut hanuman ki jai उमापति महादेव की जय. We are reciting that part of this wedding where we are supposed to absorb and view the beauty of Prabhu Shri Ram, the beauty of God. So I ask you to join me in this recitation. Bol bol Siya Ram, बोल बोल सिया रामचंद्र की जय सिया रामचंद्र की जय बाबा सिया रामचंद्र की जय जय बोल बोल सिया राम श्याम शरीर शोभाए सुहावन शोभा कोटि मनोज लजावन जावक जूत पद कमल सुहाए मुनि मन मधुपरहत जिन छाये पीत पुनीत महु मनोहर धोती हरति बाल रवि दामिनी ज्योति कल किंकिनी कटि सूत्र मनोहर बाहु विशाल विभूषण सुंदर बोल बोल सिया राम बोल बोल सिया राम पीत जनेऊ महाचबि देहि कर मुद्रिका चोरी चितुलेहि सोहत ब्याह साज सब साजे उर आयत उर भूषण राजे पियर उपर नह काका सोती दुहुआ चरण ही लगे मणि मोती नयन कमल कल कुंडल काना बदनु सकल सोंधर जनिधाना बोल बोल सिया राम बोल बोल सिया राम सुंदर ब्रुकुटी मनोहर नासा बाल तिलक रुचिरता निवासा सोहत मोरु मनोहर माते मंगलमय मुकुता मणि गाते बोल बोल सिया राम बोल बोल सिया रामचंद्र की जय सिया रामचंद्र की जय बाबा सिया रामचंद्र की जय जय बोल बोल सिया राम बोल बोल सिया राम गाते महामणि मोर मंजुल अंग सब चित चोरही पुर नारी सुर सुंदरी बरही बिलो की सब तिन तो रही, मणि बसन भूषण चारि आरती, करही मंगल गावही, सुर सुमन बरसहि सूत मागध, बंदी सुजसु सुनावही, कोहबर ही आने कुंवरी कुंवरी, सुवासिन सुख पाही के, अति प्रीति लौकिक रीति लागही, चरण मंगल गाई के, लह कोरी गोरी सिखाव राम ही सिय संसारद कहे, रनिवा सुहास विलास रस बस, जन्म को पलु सब लहे, निज पानी मनि महु देखी अति, मूर्ति स्वरूप निधान की, चाल तिन भुज बलि बिलोकनि बिरह, भय बस जानकी, कौतुक विनोद प्रमोद प्रेमुन जाहि, कही जानहि अली, कर कुंवरी सुंदर सकल सखी, लवाही जनवा से ही चली, तेहि समय सुनिय आशीष जहत, नगर नभ आनंदु महाम, चिरुजियहु जोरी चारु चारियो, मुदित मन सब ही कहा, जोग इंद्र सिद्ध मुनीस देव, बिलो की प्रभु दुंदुभि हनि, चले हर्षि बरषि प्रसून निज निज, लोक जय 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 भनी, सहित बदुटी नह कुंवरी, सब तब आये पितु पास, शोभा मंगल मोद बरी, उमगेहु जनु जनवास, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो रे भाई सब संतन की जय. Jai Sita Ram to all of you. We are still pondering about this and reading about this wonderful Viva of Sita and Ram. And yesterday we heard about how Raja Janak gave away so many different types of dan. And one of the things that was mentioned in the verse was that he gave away Kamadenu Sariki Gaye. So there's a special type of cow that is referred to as Kamadenu, and it's said to be a wish-yielding cow. And I'm mentioning this today because if you look at the vidhi that we follow for a wedding up until today, there is a part in the wedding where we do Godan. And the mantra that we recite there has a wonderful meaning. It says, the cow is the mother of the Rudras, the source of life-giving nectar in the form of milk. May the cow never be harmed. Those who protect the cow are relieved of sins and troubles and attain prosperity. So at any opportune time in our lives, we should try to do a Godan. We should try to gift a cow in charity. And Raja Janak has taken this particular opportunity, this auspicious time, to give a suitable recipient, that is his son-in-law, Prabhu Sri Ram, a cow in charity. So we should not be waiting for a sad time when somebody is perhaps on their deathbed and very sick to do a Godan. Our scriptures are full of descriptions of great souls who have done Godan or giving of cows, etc., in charity throughout their lives on any kind of auspicious occasion. So I'm going to use this opportunity to remind all of you that if you have not done so, you have not had the opportunity to do this, let us make a sankalp, a declaration in our minds, that we will set out at some time in the near future to do this. Now, coming back to the Doha that we started to recite today, we are seeing here that Sita ji bar bar Ram ji ko dekhti hai. Puni puni Ram hi chitava siya sakuchati manu sakuche naha. So Mata Sita was constantly gazing into the face of Prabhu Shri Ram, and she didn't even want to shake her body, move her arms and legs in case her gaze on Shri Ram breaks. She didn't want it to be interrupted in any way. Which takes us back to the wedding procedure that we follow today. And right from the beginning of the wedding, when the bride, the Vadhu, does the mandapa pravesh, she enters the wedding arena, we do something that is called sammukhi-karan. So when the bride and bridegroom look into each other's eyes, this is called sammukhi-karan. So this, what we have just read in this Doha, we continue with this wonderful idea that these two souls that are going to come together on this auspicious time, on this auspicious occasion when they are engaged in Vivah Sanskar, they look into each other's eyes, they look into each other's faces. And the mantra that we read is wonderful. And this mantra is going to add to what I just read to bring you the emotion that is contained when a bride looks into the face of a groom that she really loves. This is what it says. Om saman jantu vishwe devaha samapo hridayani no samatarishwaha sanghataha samudreshti dadatu no. And the explanation or the purport of this is, may God in his many forms with holy waters unite our hearts. May we experience unity. May Brahma and Gayatri fill our hearts with love for the rest of our lives. Lead us, O Lord, to Dharma, Artha, Kam and Moksha, the four principles of life. Let our hearts merge into each other as water mixes with water. Let us become one and do good deeds together. We prostrate before Ganesh, Lakshmi, and Saraswati. So this looking into each other's eyes is such a meaningful thing. And I've tried to bring it out to you by reading this mantra and what it means. So I'm so happy to see and to present to you today the similarities between the Sita Ram Vivah and what we are experiencing today if you have not cut short the wedding. So then it goes on to say, Tulsidas ji goes on to say, that Sita Mata's beautiful eyes, when she was glancing, fixing her gaze on Sri Ram, even a beautiful fish that you take out of water that has beautiful eyes and glossy eyes and are quite large, they cannot be compared to Mother Sita's eyes and the manner in which she was gazing at Prabhu Sri Ram. She was fixed upon him. Now, Tulsidas ji goes on to start describing Prabhu Sri Ram. So all our mantras and texts that give descriptions of Bhagwan are not imaginary. These descriptions have been given to us by people who have seen God, who have had darshan of God. I know that many of you do Satyanarayan Vrat Katha in your homes. And in the first chapter, it says, when Tatra Narayanam Devam Shuklavarna Chaturbhujam, Narad Muni went to Vaikuntha Lok, and in the Katha, Suji describes what Narad Muni saw. Similarly here, Tulsidas ji is describing Prabhu Sri Ram's attire, his adornments, etc. to us. And the purpose of this is that we must be able to picture this in our minds and use this to our advantage when we are meditating. And he says, Shama Sariruhu Subhahu Suhavana. His body was bluish in hue, right? And Swabhav, very, very, his bhav and his looks were very, very beautiful. Sobha Koti Manoja Lachavana. If we took many thousands of Kamdevs, the god of love that represents love, who is supposed to be all attractive and enrapture the mind of all, it says that Prabhu Sri Ram will put Kamdev to shame. Javak Juta Pada. This is very, very interesting. Javak in Hindi, if you look up the meaning, it means red mehendi, or the red dye that is applied. And we have known, especially in recent times, that the ladies apply mehendi. But here we see on the feet of Prabhu Sri Ram, mehendi was applied, and Kamala Suhaye, his feet were lotus-like, very, very beautiful feet. Also, the feet of Lord is described as being like the lotus because the lotus petals are extremely soft and beautiful. So the place where we take refuge is a soft place. It brings us comfort, peace, and harmony. Hence, we meditate on the feet of the Lord. This place also is a very pure place, the feet of the Lord. Like the lotus flower is found in a lake or a pond, and no matter how muddy the water is, the lotus flower rises above it and is not tainted in any way by that mud. It remains pure, colorful, bright, and soft. This is the nature of the Lord's feet. Muni mana madhupa rahata jina chaye. This same Prabhu Sri Ram, what does he do? He enchants the minds of the munis. The munis are the ones who are highly disciplined and evolved beings and sit controlling their senses, focusing on Bhagwan. And they, focusing on Bhagwan, are attracted to his feet like a bee is attracted to a flower, the nectar of a flower. And you will find that a bee, even when it is in danger, as long as it can smell the nectar of the flower, it constantly hovers around that flower and tries to get the nectar. Irrespective of all the different kinds of obstacles it may be faced with, all it wants is the nectar of that flower. Similarly, the true munis and rishis of this world are constantly seeking the refuge of the feet, the lotus-like feet of God. Pita punita manohara dhoti. This is also very, very interesting. So it says that Prabhu Sri Ram is wearing a yellow dhoti. And not just a yellow, any kind of yellow, punita. It was very, very pure, clean, new. Aur fir harati bal rabi damini te jyoti. The brightness of this yellow was even better than that of the rising sun. Now I'm going to take you back to the wedding procedure that we follow, and we do something when the Dulha is being invited onto the stage, and as part of the Var Archan, etc., his father-in-law is supposed to hand him an item of sacred clothing. Up to today, I advise people that they must continue the tradition of giving a yellow dhoti. And you'll see that the groom normally takes this dhoti and he keeps it under his chair. That is what the tradition that I've seen. So the idea of having this yellow dhoti present on the wedding day is perhaps taken out of this particular verse where Prabhu Sri Ram is adorned with this yellow dhoti. And it is not just an ordinary gift. Yesterday, we were told by Lokesh Mamaji that every part of the wedding, besides having Mangala Gan, besides having auspicious songs, mantras were always present. And today I want to try again to show you the importance of mantra and show you how this dhoti is not just an ordinary piece of cloth that a father-in-law is giving to his son-in-law. The mantra says, Om Jarangaccha Paridhatswa Vaso Bhava Krishti Namaha Vishasti Shava Shatam Cha Jiva Sharadaha Suvarchariyam Cha Putrananu Samvyayasyaha Yushmatidam Paridatsva Vasaha Paridasye Yashodasye Dirghayutvayah Jaradhishtarasmi Shatam Cha Jivamihi Sharadaha Puruchiryashyam Osham Visam Vyayishye. I had to read that to you because we are in the wedding, and in the wedding they said they are listening to these mantras. This mantra says, O protector of the body, giver of fame and dignity, who grants long life and good health, may you be beneficial putting on this clothing. May you be granted a life of 100 years. More beautifully put, it says, may you see a 100 beautiful autumns, attaining prosperity and dignity along the way. Many years ago, I can remember, actually not many years ago, it seems like many years ago, I can remember Pandit H.R. Maharaj telling us that for everything you do in a day, there is actually a mantra. He told us when you're having a bath, there's a mantra. When you put clothes on, there's a mantra. When you put chandan on your forehead, there's a mantra. When you eat food, there's a mantra. And here we are seeing the greatness of what he told us. And we are seeing this kind of repeated, this idea given to us in Ramcharitmanas. Kala kinkina kati sutra manohar, kahu visalabi vibhushana sundar. Around his waist, he wore a girdle, and it was beautiful. His limbs were large and long and well built, and everything that was on him was well decorated. Tulsidas Ji now goes on further to tell us about something else that is evident on the Lord's body. He says, Pita janehu mahachabidehi karamudrika chori chittulehi. Pita janehu mahachabi dehi. The Lord was wearing a yellow janeu. So if you study this idea of wearing janeus, you'll see that the color can vary depending on certain things. I'm not going to go into that now, but why is the Lord displaying a janeu? Because he wants to show us the importance of wearing the janeu, the significance of wearing the janeu. So according to the mantra that we use when we put on the janeu, it tells us that the first person who put on the janeu was Prajapati, the creator, the Lord of all beings. He put on the janeu. That is what we read there. Now, I'm going to read something to you that is from the Attire that talks about the janeu. And it says there, Acharya balak ka upanayan sanskar karke उस ब्रह्मचर्य व्रत का आदेश देकर मानव गर्भ में रखता है। यह ब्रह्मचारी 3 रात्रि गुरु के पास रहता है और फिर जब वह द्विजत्व रूप दूसरा जन्म ग्रहण कर उत्पन्न होता है, तब उसे देखने के लिए देवता भी एकत्रित होते हैं। This is very, very interesting. Where is this from? Atharva Ved. And in the Atharva Ved, it is saying that that balak, that youngster who is invested with the sacred thread or the janeu by his acharya, and he maintains the disciplines that are related to that janeu, what happens to him? It says that he must remain 3 ratni. So a ratni is the distance from the elbow to the middle finger. So he does not go out of range of 3 arm lengths, if I can simplify that, from his guru, meaning he stays very, very close to his guru. He doesn't just do this upnayan and forget about his guru. He stays very, very close and is constantly guided by his guru, and he maintains his vrat, his determination that this Janeu represents. What happens to him? He will see with his own eyes all the devatas gathered together. In other words, he will see God. So today I'm just using this one scriptural reference to tell you about this Janeu. Fir kar mudrika chori chitulehi, Bhagwan had on his hand a most beautiful ring that enraptures the mind. Now, I know you may have seen many, many beautiful rings in your time with many kinds of beautiful gems embedded in it. But according to Tulsidas Ji, you have not seen a ring like the one that God wears. So hatabhyah saj sab saje. He was looking most pleasing and beautiful in his full wedding adornment. Today, perhaps we are compromising too much on the kind of garb and adornments that we wear in our weddings. We are Sanatanis, we are followers of the Sanatan Dharma. And while we may want to be modern beings, I do not think that on occasions like these, we must easily discard our own culture and Sanskriti and start wearing the clothes of others in an effort to try and look modern. Because if you look at what Prabhu Sri Ram was wearing and the descriptions, and you adorn yourself like that, I can tell you that no garb from anywhere else in the world will come even close. So I'm saying to you, you may not realize how beautiful you too may look if you copy Prabhu Sri Ram. Ura ayata ura bhushana raje, even around his chest, in the chest area, there were various kinds of adornments that he was adorned with. I can remember, I hope I'm going to use the right Hindi word now. There's a thing called a haikal. And I hope that some of you remember what a haikal is. And when I was getting married, I can remember that one of the elders in my family brought her haikal and told me that I must wear this. And at that age, I said to her, this is very heavy for me. It might make me uncomfortable. She said, no, you must wear it because you are supposed to wear it. And in the end, when I look at the pictures, I am glad that I wore it. And when I read this verse here, I'm even more glad that I wore it. And I hope that anybody who is listening to this katha, who is going to get married, I hope that you too will wear it. Piyara uparanaha ka kasotihi duhu acharanahi lage mani moti. So Bhagwan was wearing a yellow, once again, stressing on the yellow color, a dupatta or a shawl, if I can call it. I hope I'm finding the right word. And how was he wearing it? Janeu ki taraha. Which brings us to the next point. How is a janeu worn? Because the shawl is worn, janeu ki taraha. Now, when you are witnessing Pandits performing puja, I know that you must be focusing on the puja, but you may also glance at the Pandit and see how he's dressed. And you'll find that he has a shawl on his left shoulder. Why? Because we wear the janeu on our left shoulder. And according to this verse, the dupatta must be worn on the left shoulder. This is called savya. The style of wearing the janeu or the shawl is called savya. When somebody passes on and we are in sutak, we turn the janeu the other way. We put it on the right shoulder. And if you are not using a janeu, but you are performing the Shraddh Kriya, you'll take your towel or your shawl and put it on your right shoulder. That is called apsavya. And when you are making oblations of water to the rishis and munis, you put the janeu around your neck this way, like a mala, and make those oblations. So Bhagwan is engaged in a very, very shubha karya. Vivaha Sanskar. And therefore, he's wearing his janeu and his shawl in the Savya style. Further, this shawl of his has a lot of embroidery work on it. Various kinds of gems, etc., are embedded in the shawl. So today I know especially when the ladies are doing shopping, they look at the work on the shawls and the saris that are there, sequins, etc., that are there. But we know that these are imitation today. But Prabhu Sri Ram had proper precious gems embedded on his Nayana Kamala Kala Kundalakana. He's once again, Tulsidas ji is using the opportunity to talk about the Lord's eyes. It is said that the eyes of a person can be very enchanting. Beautiful eyes, especially Bhagwan's eyes, are able to enrapture our minds. Our Kundalakana, he's wearing earrings on both his ears, not only on one ear, both ears he's wearing earrings. So today we find that some people like to wear it on one ear. And that has become a style over the years. But Prabhu Sri Ram wore it on both ears. And why was he wearing it on both ears? Because when he did Upnayan Sanskar, and if he did it together with the Karnavir, they pierce both the ears. And that also has a significance. It says for a male, if both the ears are pierced, it has an effect on his fertility. So it is a good thing for a youngster to pierce his ears when he's doing his Upnayan. And we should not complain too much about it, because today there's modern equipment to pierce the ears. You know, they use this gun and you feel very little pain. Unlike in the past when they would do it with a lemon thorn sometime, etc. Today it's a lot easier, so we shouldn't shy away from that. And if we understand the scientific reason for it, then we will know why it is included in our vidis. Sundara Brukuti Manohara Nasa. Bhagwan's eyebrows were extremely beautiful. Even his nose was well-shaped. He had a well-shaped nose. Manohara Nasa. Bhal Tilakaha Ruchirata Nivasa. On his forehead, he had a tilak. He had a chandan. You see, whenever we engage in any kind of auspicious activity, especially including our daily puja, we should be having a tilak. We should be having a chandan applied to our forehead. Now, why should we have that there? I'm going to tell you now that in the Katha Upanishad, it says, Urdhva Pund Tilakaha Mritika se dharan karna chahiye, Bhasma ka tripund chandan ka dono prakar ka tilak, aur abhyang aur utsav ratro mein dharan karna chahiye. So in the Upanishad, it says that it is very, very good to apply a tilak to your forehead. And one of the ways you can apply it is tripund. So you'll see the devotees of Bhagwan Shiv, they put 3 lines on the head. That is called tripunda. And what are they saying? How you should make it? Mritika. You can use the soil. You can use soil, and more often you'll see people using soil from Vrindavan, etc., from Rishikesh, etc., and they're applying that as chandan to their head. Okay, and we're going to see about significance just now. Or fir bhasma ka tripund. You can also use ashes from the Havan Kund to apply this chandan, or sandalwood paste. And then it says, why is it telling you that you should do this? Hriday ki 101 nadi hai. In your heart, there's a 101 nerves. And one of those nerves from the heart runs directly to the forehead and then goes up to the area where your Shikha Bandhan is. So there's a nerve present here where you're supposed to apply the chandan. That is why we say you should start applying it at the top of the nose and moving upwards. So you certainly cover that nerve And it's the Brahma Vaivarta Puran goes on to say, Snana Homa Deva aur Pitri Karma sab nishpal hota hai yadi mastak mein tilak dharan na kiya ho. Having a bath, doing havan, doing pitra karma, that is shrad and tarpan, is considered to be fruitless. In other words, you're not going to get the full benefit if you didn't put chandan on your forehead. So none of us should think that, it's only a very religious person puts chandan on the forehead, etc. Everybody is supposed to put chandan on the forehead, and you are, by applying the chandan on this nerve, you are actually promoting your spiritual advancement, because your heart, this nerve, and the area where your shika is right up here are all linked. And it says that that person's soul who leaves from here, from where the shika is, he doesn't come back to this world. So by applying chandan, you are actually encouraging this idea of moksha. The mantra that we use for applying chandan, I'm not going to go into it now because I know I'm running out of time, my apologies, also gives you a lot of indication about the greatness of applying this chandan. So hatta mora manohara mate, mangalamaya mukta mani date. Bhagwan was wearing a crown on his head, or we can even call this a pagri. And today we are seeing less and less of this in our weddings, and they were all embedded with beautiful gems. In the chand now, we are seeing the description of this beauty further being described. Gate Mahamani Mor Manjula Anga Sabachita Chorahi. I already explained that. This is a repetition. Pura Nari Sura Sundari Barahi Biloki Sabatina Torahi. All the ladies, the wives of the gods as well, seeing Prabhu Sri Ram, what they did, they saw him to be so beautiful, and they didn't want any kind of evil eye to affect him in any way. They took some grass, strands of grass, and they broke it. So we may call this in colloquial terms, utaro najar, take out najar. So evil eye doesn't affect him, because even though we love somebody very much, a little tinge of jealousy that comes in us while looking at them, according to the traditions, can affect somebody, can have a negative effect on them. We mustn't be jealous of anybody. And therefore, to avoid that, they took this grass and broke it. And of course, I'm sure you know of many ways how people used to utaro najar. Mani basana bhushana bari. They gave him beautiful clothes, decorations, other kinds of adornments, etc. Arati karihi mangala kavahi. Again, they did arti for him. So this arti or parchan that we read about earlier on and we're reading about now, it is said that when you turn a light, a lamp around a person, the lamp removes all kinds of negativity. In fact, sometimes we use camphor to do that. So around us is a layer of energy that we refer to as the aura. And all of us want positive aura around us. We want to be protected by this aura so that our thinking does not deteriorate in any way. Our feeling and emotion doesn't deteriorate in any way. And one of the ways to maintain that is to do this. So up till today, I know when somebody has gone away for a while, perhaps overseas, and they come back, before they enter the house, we do arti around them, we do this parchan. Sura sumana barasahi suta magada bandi sujasu sunavahi. The Bhagwans, the Devas, were raining down flowers from the heavens as blessings to Prabhu Sri Ram, and musicians sang beautiful songs and praises in praise of Prabhu Sri Ram. Kohabari ane kuari kuari suasinaha sukapai ke. Yesterday, Lokesh Mamaji spoke about this Kohabar, this special room that the bride and groom retired to after the wedding ceremony, where they could get a breather, they could freshen up, they could have something to drink quickly, and prepare for the next stage of what is going on. Now, today, once again, we don't have this opportunity. We don't see all of this. And what happens? Ati priti lokika riti lagi. In this Kohabar, very important lokika riti, traditional rituals took place, the meaningful rituals took place in that Kohabar. And we're going to see what some of them are now. So one of the things that I know that they used to do, they used to put a ring in some sour milk, and both the bride and groom must try and see who can find the ring. And they would say that whoever finds the rings more times, that person is going to be dominant in the relationship. Dominant in a nice way, not in a way that is negative. So it was a playful thing, but it had some meaning. And what did it do? After perhaps being tense and sitting in a prim and proper way in the mandap and engaging in the wedding, this couple now are breaking the ice. They are doing this to help them to relax before they go on to the next part. Leha kauri gauri sikavaha Ramahi siyasana sarada kahe. You know what they are? It says now that Mother Parvati is teaching Prabhu Sri Ram how to feed Mother Sita food. And Mother Saraswati is teaching Sita Mata how to feed Ram food. I'm not sure if husband and wife still feed each other these days, but this was a beautiful pastime that was started in the Kohabar, in the privacy of the Kohabar. Not everybody was allowed in there, and you can see that it must be very meaningful for two people who really love each other to feed each other. And I don't think they were using spoons. They would have done it with their very own fingers. Rani Vasu Hasa Bilasa Rasa Basa Janma Ko Phalu Sabalahe. All the ladies who were in there, who saw all of this great thing happening, the Lord of the universe feeding the Mother of the universe food, and vice versa, what happened? They became so happy and they considered themselves, they birthed to be absolutely fulfilled, absolutely fulfilled. Very, very happy. They're saying all the difficulties of taking birth, janma, getting sick, getting old, all the challenges is all worth it if we saw with our own eyes today, God, Bhagwan and Bhagavati feeding each other. Nija pani mani mahu dekayatihi. Sita Mata, in her own, in the gems on her hand, the shining gems, she could see the reflection of Prabhu Sri Ram's face. And she fixed her eyes on that. And she didn't even want to move once again because she could see his reflection in there. At this point in time, she was not looking directly into his face. Why? Because others were there, and Sita Mata, it says, was shy like a deer, like a harini. She was very, very shy. So she didn't want to directly look easily into his face in the presence of Mata Parvati, Mata Saraswati, etc., who she considers to be like her own mother. Kautuka Binoda Pramod Premu, Na Jahi Kahi Janahi Aayi. Who can describe the love and beauty that the four couples displayed between themselves? And all the younger girls that were present there now escorted them to a respective seat, where once again they would be exposed to the guests of the wedding. Tehi samay suniya asisa jaha, taha nagara naba anandu maha. At that point in time, they came out, and what was going to happen? Ashirvad. In our weddings today, we also see the same thing. We call upon the elders of the family priest, etc., to give Ashirvad using flowers, etc. And it says that blessings were heard all around. Chirujiyahu, Jori Charu Charyahu, Mudita Mana Sabahi Kaha. This is very interesting. Here it says that the people were giving very wonderful blessings. But one of the things that could be heard all around was Chiru Jiyahu. That means Chira Jivi Bhava or Chirana Jivi Bhava. Chira Jivi is a word used to describe those beings that live extremely long in the universe, much more than you and I can understand. Hanumanji is described as Chiranjeevi. Vibhishan is Chiranjeevi. The Rishi Markandeya is Chiranjeevi. And I am now going to just take you very quickly to the Ashirvad mantra that we use when we are giving Ashirvad, when we recite, when we are giving asking the parents to give Ashirvad. I'm going to read some of it, and you are going to see how wonderful it is. It says here, Om Shri Varchasyam Ayushyam Arogyam Avidat Pavamanam Mahiyate Dhanyam Dhanam Pashum Bahuputra Labam Shata Samvatsaram Dirgamayuhu. Om Mangalam Bhagavan Vishnu Mangalam Garudadvaja Mangalam Pundari Kaksham Mangalaya Tanohari. Let's go to these words. Shri Varchasyam, may all the qualities of Lakshmi dwell within you. Ayushman, may you live very, very long. Exactly what we are saying here, Chirajivi Bhava. Look at our mantra. It says, Ayushman Bhava, Arogyam, may you be free of illness. Dhanyam, may you have lots of wealth. Dhanam, may you never be short of grains in your home. Pashum, may you be able to afford lots of animals, especially cows. Aur, Bahuputra Labham, may you have lots of children. And may you have Dirga Ayuhu, may you have long, long life. Look at the relevance of what we are still doing today in relation to what was happening here. Yogindraha Siddha Muni Sadeva Biloku Prabhu Dundubihani. The yogis, the great ascetics, the munis and rishis, the devatas, all of them sing Prabhu Shri Ram, Dundubihani. They played kettle drums, nagara, etc., which are auspicious in nature. Chale Harashi Bharashi Prasoon, they rained down flowers on God. I have never come across a prayer that we do or practice where we don't have flowers. Flowers are really dear to the Lord. Our Nija Nija Loka, they then went back to their respective lokas where they live, their planes of existence, the other worlds, if I may use that term. And how did they go? Jaya, Jaya, Jaya Bhani. Right through their journey going back home, they were singing the praises of Prabhu Shri Ram. Sahita Badhutinaha Kuara Saba Taba Aye Pitupas. After the Ashirvad, they allowed everyone to give them Ashirvad. They went to their father, to Raja Dashrath. So the four couples. Sobha Mangala Modabari Umagehu Janu Janavasa. And after taking his Ashirvad, they went back to their respective dwellings where they could rest. So this Sita Ram Vivah is going on for so many days in this program that we are having, and we still haven't finished it because every part of it is so meaningful. My dear brothers and sisters, there are 8 main types of weddings that are mentioned in our scriptures, in the Griha Sutras and in the Manu Smriti. Of these 7 types of the 7 of these weddings, the parents are involved in the wedding closely. But in each of the 7, as we move downwards, there's less and less parental involvement and respect. The one that is right at the top is the wedding that we have experienced today or during this week, the Sita Ram Vivah, and the scriptures call it Brahma Vivah. Brahma Vivah. I am appealing to all of you to maintain this quality in your family lineage. Make sure that you are performing a Brahma Vivah. Children who are getting married, Show that you come from a family of great respect. Adhere to the scriptures. Do not cut the wedding short in any way. Vivaha is for your own good. The worst type of these 8 weddings is called a Pesach wedding. Let me tell you what happens there. It is mainly for demonic people. They get the lady drunk, they abuse her and kidnap her. In none of the weddings that we perform must we bring even 1 inch of Pesach into it. That means you must not have alcohol in any wedding that you are performing. Because the alcohol, according to this, is related to the Pesach wedding. We should strive to have Brahma Vivaha. Do not ever allow or compromise alcohol to be served at a wedding or sold on a premises where you are having a wedding. This is becoming more and more common. You are not attracting the right kind of energy to a function if you hold it in a place where alcohol is being served or sold. We are not Pesach, we are striving to be Brahma. I appeal to all of you to join our satsang tomorrow, where we are going to come to one of my favorite parts of the wedding, which is food. You are going to hear about the festivities relating to food, the different kinds of food that are going to be served, kichri kawai, etc., etc. So please do join the satsang tomorrow. I thank you for joining this evening satsang, and I wish you all the best for Ram Navami. Katha visarjana hota hai, suno ho veera Hanuman. आसन को प्रभु जाइए, सिया सखा सहित भगवान, सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो रे भाई सब संतन की जय।
कहीं पुष्पों की जय माँ। भक्त भय हर सदा सुख कर, हरि को शरण जानकी नाथ कृपाला की। संवरिया नैन विशाला की, आरती रघुवर लाला की। संवरिया नैन विशाला की, आरती रघुवर लाला की। संवरिया नैन विशाला की, आरती रघुवर लाला की। संवरिया नैन विशाला की।
कर्पूर गौरम करुणावतारम संसार सारम भुजगेन्द्रहारम सदा वसंतम हृदयारविंदे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। मंगलम भगवान विष्णु मंगलम गरुडध्वज मंगलम पुंडरीकाक्ष मंगलाय तनोहरिः सर्वमंगलमंगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते नारायणी नमोस्तुते नारायणी नमोस्तुते। ओम यानि कानि च पापानि जन्मान्तरकृतानि च तानि तानि विनश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे। You may take flowers in your hands while we recite the concluding mantras. Om Sarvesham Swastirбhavatu Sarvesham Shantirбhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kasyit Bhag Bhavet Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम अपराध सहस्राणि क्रियन्ते अहर्निशं मया दासोऽयमिति मां मत्वा क्षमस्व परमेश्वर। आवाहनं न जानामि विसर्जनं पूजां चैव न जानामि क्षमस्व परमेश्वर। अन्यथा शरणं नास्ति त्वमेव शरणं मम तस्मत्कारुण्य भावेन रक्ष त्वं परमेश्वर। बोलिए विघ्नहर्ता गणेश भगवान की जय, जगत जननी पार्वती माता की जय, शिव शंकर भगवान की जय, सीता रामचंद्र भगवान की जय, लक्ष्मण जी की जय, महावीर स्वामी बजरंग बली की जय, श्री लक्ष्मी नारायण भगवान की जय, श्री बालकृष्ण भगवान की जय, गंगा यमुना सरयू सरस्वती मैया की जय, श्री राधे कृष्ण भगवान की जय। ओम नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव हर। जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे, जय जय श्री राधे श्याम। सबको जय सिया राम।